students, welcome to one PYQ a day series. Today is the day of Polity and we are going to pick up one question from the previous year and we are going to delve deep into that question and we are going to see how to write better answer with better introduction and better conclusion and better body. How to hit what has exactly been asked, what is the core demand of the question. So today we have taken a question from the year 2025. This is question number 1 of the paper number 2 of 2025. This is a 10 marker question and it is asking about the Representation of People's Act. Now before I start discussing the question, let me tell you about the free one-to-one mentorship of SRIRAM IAS. If you have any kind of confusion anywhere in your preparation, you can approach SRIRAM IAS mentors. They are qualified mentors and it is free of cost. The only thing which you have to do is to scan this QR code or go to the description, click the link, fill the form and we are going to approach you. Now look at this question. This was asked in 2025. It's a 10 marker. You have to write its answer in 150 words. Very specific question and it is in two parts. One is it is asking you to discuss something. The other is it is asking you to analyze something. Okay. So discuss the corrupt practices for the purposes of the Representation of the People's Act of 1951. So Representation of People's Act, if you see 1951, here you will see section 123. Now this section 123 speaks about corrupt practices and there are around 6 practices which are listed as corrupt practices under section 123 of the Representation of People Act 1951. So this is what is asked in your part number 1. Okay. Then comes the part number 2, analyze whether the increase in the asset of a legislator or their associate disproportionate to their known sources of income would constitute undue influence and consequently a corrupt practice. So this disproportionate rise in income, will it be considered as undue influence or not? And will it be considered as a corrupt practice or not? Now in order to answer the second part, we have to answer the first part. Okay, we have to see what corrupt practices actually mean. And corrupt practices are written under section 123 of the Representation of People Act. So what are corrupt practices? And let me tell you, one of them is undue influence also. So first one, bribery. Second one is undue influence, the same thing which is asked in the second part of the question. Third is some kind of appeal towards religion, caste or community, isn't it? Then fourth one, publication of false statements. Fifth one, hiring of vehicles. Now I am going to explain each one of them. First let us list them. Hiring of vehicles. You must be wondering how hiring of vehicle during the election process by a candidate can become a corrupt practice. I will let you know that. And the last one, expenditure more than the limit. More than the limit prescribed by the Election Commission of India. Now look at these things. These are considered to be corrupt practices under Representation of People's Act. Let us understand what does bribery actually mean here. Bribery simply means that when a candidate is giving some kind of bribery to an official of the Election Commission of India or bribery, to some other official or to the booth official or to the returning officer, anybody. Now this kind of practice is considered as a corrupt practice under Representation of People's Act. Another one is undue influence. That means the election has to be, a fair, I would say a free and fair practice. Now any kind of influence if the candidate is making in that free and fair practice of election will be considered as undue influence. If the candidate is making some kind of appeal based on religion, based on caste, based on community, that is also considered to be a corrupt practice. That is considered to be an act of polarization. Act of what? Polarization. You are polarizing the society. You are trying to create some kind of law and order problem also. You can incite violence also through this through the appeal on the basis of religion, caste or community. Then comes publication of false statement, saying something false, something which is not true, just to get vote, just to have undue influence on public. That is also considered to be a corrupt practice. Hiring of vehicles. Now you must be wondering, what is this hiring of vehicles? Hiring of vehicles simply means a candidate cannot hire vehicles for sending the voters to the booth. The candidate can do so for his own family members, for his own associates, for his own agents, but not for the general public. It depends on the willingness of the general public to come out and go to the voting booth and cast their vote. This is something you have to understand. Hiring of vehicle in some or the other way may result in forcing the voters to come and vote for a particular candidate. If it is done by Election Commission of India, which is a neutral body, then it is okay. Where the Election Commission of India would be hiring vehicles to help old or to help other voters also to come out from their houses and go and cast their vote in the polling booth. But if such a situation arises where the political parties or the candidates are doing this thing, that is considered to be a corrupt practice under Representation of People's Act. Then comes this thing, expenditure more than the limit. Of course, several limits have been prescribed, beyond which you just cannot spend. And if some of the candidate goes beyond that expenditure limit, that will be considered as what? A corrupt practice under Representation of People's Act 1952. I hope you are getting these. So these are few corrupt practices. Now, what they are trying to ask is about this undue influence. Now, this undue influence, how can this be linked with disproportionate income of the candidate and of any of the candidate's associate? For example, the income of the candidate was this much from known sources, and this has risen to this big. And you know, this increase was from unknown sources. Unknown sources. You do not know from where this money is coming. This money is coming from unknown sources. So this unknown sources, this disproportionate income, can it be considered as undue influence? Can it be considered subsequently as corrupt practice? Yes, it can be, but a proof has to be given that the disproportionate income has been used to influence the free and fair elections in the country. So, you know, either to lure a person, lure the voters, or to force them, this disproportionate income can be used. Coercion, force, by using the money which you have, by putting some kind of influence on the officers of the Election Commission, or luring by gifting, you know, either to the public or to the officers, and forcing them using muscle power. Muscle comes by money. So indirectly the money is used to force the officers, money is used to bribe the public, and once it is proved, it can be called as a corrupt practice, and it can be called as a undue influence. So this is something which you can write in your answer. Now, elections are the backbone of democracy. This is a statement which is a very profound statement and can be used in your introduction. Whereas in conclusion, you have to show something broader. You can also write that right to vote is still not a fundamental right, and if it is considered to be a fundamental right by judiciary in one of the judgments and one of the interpretation which is made, which it makes in future, then it will be better for the Indian democracy. Because you see, Article 21 of the Constitution has been interpreted in such a way that many of the rights are now the part of the fundamental right. Right to mobility, right to walk on footpaths, Now, if these rights can be considered as a fundamental right, then why not right to vote? So, there is a huge possibility that tomorrow Supreme Court may actually come up and keep right to vote in the category of fundamental right. So, this is one of the argument which you can give. There are counter arguments to this also, but this is something which you can write in your conclusion. A way forward, okay, so that greater protection can be given to voting rights by the courts. So, this is something which you can write in your answer and get better marks. In 150 words, this answer can be written. So, thank you very much for joining me. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.